Are you ready for this? How
Yeah.
exciting is this going to be for you?
It's going to be super exciting.
Do you think more exciting than it is for me? Because I'm so excited.
Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you?
Oh gosh, I am excited to 10,000 infinity million billion gajillion trillion cotillion. That excited.
That excited.
Are you that excited?
Yes. Are you that excited, Daddy?
I'm very excited.
This is going to be so cool.
Yeah.
We are going to talk to Terry, who is the very first trainer that your baby girl, Gemelli, encountered when she started her training to be your service dog. How amazing is that?
Super amazing.
Okay, I have to take a moment to go post about the live in the event page because I got to make sure that everybody knows that we're on and we're here. We don't want anybody to miss this. Yeah. So why don't you talk to these guys real quick here. I will show you some of these. Let's say hello, do some hellos. We're going to give everybody a few minutes to get in the room because I'm sure you guys know that sometimes it takes Facebook a few minutes to send out notifications. We have to make sure everybody in the event page is aware that we're on. So everybody come on in, get situated, grab a seat, grab a drink. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Get a little snack.
And we will get going in just a couple minutes.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Hey, Mary. Hey, Christina. Hey, Patricia. Hey, Karen. Hey, Cindy. Hey, everyone. How are you all doing today?
Debbie says hi.
Hi, Debbie. Shannon says, I'm here for the event, from the event. Nice. Yeah. And everyone who signed up for the event and is now here, I'm very excited for all of you and even for me. And for you, Mommy, and for you, Daddy. Kim says, I'm ready to watch this. Deb says, hey, Anna, how exciting. Terry says, how did Anna get so beautiful? I don't know.
You're born that way.
I'm born that way. How do I get this beautiful if I was born that way?
Okay. So, you feel like you're ready?
I'm ready.
Is everybody grabbing a seat? Everybody, how about that sprinkling, what do we call it? That button. You all know the button. Click that button real quick. Let's do that. Let's get everybody, please click the button and then comment and let us know that you did that.
It's that little white arrow down below the live here.
And once we get some of those out there, we are going to bring Terry on and introduce her. Go on, give it a click. Yeah. Let us know.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Janice. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Daga. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Alberta.
All right.
Julia. Thank you, Melaine.
Let's do it. So, we are going to introduce you guys to Terry. Terry is one of the service dog trainers. She can give you her official title, but she works with 4 Paws for Ability, the organization that Anna is getting her service dog from. We've been working with them for just over 2 years now through the application process, the fundraising process, the waiting process, the matching process. It's been a great experience for us. So we're going to encourage you guys during this live stream to consider sending a donation to 4 Paws for Ability so that they can continue doing this for other kiddos like Anna. They do service dogs for a lot of kids, but they also do service dogs for veterans. So it's a really worthy cause. Please consider a donation. You'll find the link to their website in our comments section throughout the entire live stream. Without further ado, let's meet Terry.
Hello, guys. And I may be nervous where Anna's not because I'm not the professional here. But yeah, my name is Terry, and my husband and I actually got our start doing therapy dogs and actually therapy horses work for almost about 30 years. That's a long time.
Wow.
Yeah. So service dogs was a whole new thing for that we started about about 2 years ago. And so we used to take our therapy dog. I mean, therapy dogs to hospitals and schools and nursing homes and all kinds of special events, things like that. So when we started our service dog, as we and I'll tell you exactly the day that I said, you know what, I'm going to do this. I actually read the book called The Underdog, and it was written about Karen Shirk, who started the program in Xenia. And I mean, honestly, when I put that book down, I said, you know what? I am going to do this. And right then and there, I volunteered I actually did the application online to become a volunteer. And then, man, wait till you guys get there. When you get to Four Paws, it's like dog heaven. You'll see the most beautiful dogs you've ever seen in your life there. Um, so the way you start, so I'm actually called a sedit, they call me. Service dog in training volunteer, a sedit, and that's what I am. I started my first year with a sedit, and it was a dog named Mary. And as you find out, like every single dog is attached to a really kind of odd litter name. So all the dogs are like themes. So that might be the Trolls theme. It could be the Flintstones theme. Um, the Christmas theme. And as you found out with Gemelli, she's in the Italian delight theme. So she's got a brother named Pizza, one named Macaroni, Alfredo, and then of course the Gemelli, as you know. So it kind of keeps, like, if you're talking about a pasta macaroni, everybody knows which litter that you're talking about. So it's kind of easy to track them like that, I think. But so to begin with Angel, actually I call her Angel now. Her name was Mary from the Snow Day litter. She had a slushy, had a flurry, had all kinds of names like that. But I have to tell you, after a year of trying to train her to be a service dog, she actually failed. And they call those fabulous flunkies, and that's a whole different story. And so so I ended up keeping her and starting down the pet therapy route. So she actually is now a certified pet therapy dog, and she goes to hospitals too now, goes to schools. But we started with, they asked me if I wanted to participate in a pilot program for the prison. They had already been taking dogs to the prison, but this was a different way of doing it. So what they wanted to do is they wanted to have the prisoner keep the dog for 2 weeks and have me keep the dog for 2 weeks. And so when Gemelli was in prison, I had a different dog from a different litter, and her name was 11. That's an odd name, isn't it? That's a really neat name if you hear the whole story, and a really neat litter of dogs. So when Gemelli's litter was in prison, I had another dog here named 11 for 2 weeks, and then we switched them out for 2 weeks, switched them out again 2 weeks. And so you would think, I mean, what would you think? This is what I thought about a dog being in prison. I thought that would be the most depressing thing that I could ever imagine, and especially for a puppy. But what I found out, and I was surprised, that Gemelli actually cried the first time I brought her home in my car. I think she cried not because she was not comfortable or car sick. I think she missed her buddies at the prison. Can you imagine that? And what I found out later is when they take the dogs back to the prison and they line all the crates up, they have all the inmates sitting in chairs, and every puppy is assigned 2 inmates. And so they have them sitting in chairs in a circle, and they tell them, don't make a sound. Don't call the dog. Just sit there quietly. And when they release the crates, and the doors at the same time, you know what they found out? Those dogs run back to their inmates every single time. Nobody misses it. So they know exactly where they're supposed to go. And they love them. So why spend time in a prison when you could be here and running loose on a farm, with all these farm animals and fun? So what the prisoners actually provide for the dog that's so valuable, especially when they're so young, is they provide crate training. So the puppy learns to become comfortable in the crate because they have to be in the crate. And when they're that little, they're safer in the crate, So they learn the crate training. They learn the leash training, which is so valuable because you can imagine with a puppy, even if the puppy's like 20, 30 pounds, I can't hardly hold it. It would actually pull me down. And so they teach that dog manners right from the get-go about how to walk on a leash. And probably my favorite part, potty training. So they get that puppy really good doing potty training, outside. And it actually gets a lot of socialization from the other inmates and like from the cafeteria workers and the office workers. They get to walk around and take that puppy with them. So then what do I provide that puppy that's been in prison for 2 weeks? A lot of outside association. Socialization. There's the two main things that are the most important things for puppies this age is meeting other puppies and dogs and playing with. So being around other dogs, socializing, and meeting all kinds of people, especially kids. And those are the two most important things that prison provided for them. And then after my training like that, after the dog is fully vaccinated, a lot of colleges won't want the dogs to be on campus unless they're fully vaccinated. Then that's when Abby, and I think you're going to talk to her later, she was able to pick the dog up and the dog went away to college. And she kept the dog that whole time. And then after that, when the dog, after went through an evaluation process and said, yes, this is definitely going to be a service dog. We're going to put this Gemelli in advanced training. And then all through the week now, she's been going to school since December, through the week in advanced training. And then I get her on weekends. So I have to do her laundry and stuff. Not really, but I would if she had some. So what questions do you have for me?
Well, I was just going to say, because I was thinking of this, it's very funny that your favorite part about training service dogs is the potty training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's because anytime, have you ever had a puppy?
No.
But you had a cat.
Cat.
Yeah. So cats are actually pretty easy because they will potty train themselves with a litter box, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a puppy goes all the time, and you want the puppy to learn to go outside. You have to take the puppy outside. So that means a leash and collar or whatever you have to put on their harness and take them outside to do their business. And actually what you'll find out with Gemelli is when you take her outside and you say go potty, she goes and potties right then and there. So she will potty on command. Don't you wish everybody could do that,
Yeah.
And so that's a good thing that she can do that instead of standing out there walking around in circles.
Yeah.
A lot of people they'll ask me what the hardest, well, they ask me this question. They ask me this question the most. They say, how can you do this? How can you raise a puppy and then give that puppy away? Have you thought about that? Yeah, everybody asks that because I mean, a lot of people that consider being a volunteer, they think about being volunteer, but they think it'll be really painful when they have to give the puppy up. Because think about me and then Abby that you're going to meet later on and the advanced trainer. All of us are keeping this puppy, and to keep a puppy like this, you have to love them fiercely. You have to give them full out love, and you can't hold back any love. So when I give that puppy to you, and I've been raising this puppy to give to you, didn't know it was you until I saw that picture of you that your dad drew with Gemelli, and then I knew it was your puppy. Even then, and it really hurts my heart, and my grandkids too. My grandson Jordan, he's 11. He has a hard time talking about it. About not being able to see Gemelli again. But of course, we get to see them on Facebook, so that's a great thing. So they'll say to me, "How can you do that? How can you raise a puppy and give that puppy up?" But as you've been learning about, forepaws, you'll see that a lot of these puppies save people's lives. They'll make a tremendous difference in your life with all the things that this puppy's learned to do. There's a lot of kids that don't even sleep through the night ever, or a lot of kids that have seizures, and they're like invisible seizures. Unless you see them, you wouldn't know they were having them. And so these puppies can actually detect that and make an alert. An alert is a bark. It'll react in some way to let you know. Or like when Gemelli in your video you saw when the girl said help, that's an alert, and that tells Gemelli she has to bark. And so these puppies save the lives of kids, and it changes their lives for the better. And so I would have to ask those people when they say, how can you do this? I would say to them, how could I not? How could I not do this? Because it changes the lives of people and it saves kids' lives. And so it's not easy, but I'm really blessed that I can do this. What do you think about that?
That's pretty cool.
It is really, really cool.
Do you want to get like a rundown of like puppy training 101? Like what exactly, what do you start with? What do you end with? What is the process? Kind of, what does that look like?
Yeah.
That's a great question. So to be a cadet like I am, there's a lot of cadets. So to be a cadet like we are, it's an application process. So you go online and you complete the application, and from there, it's a lot of hoops to jump through. So you have to like do the application and it gets approved. You actually have to send a picture of your house or your apartment, and then maybe a fenced-in yard to make sure that puppy's going to be safe when he's on these premises. They can't just run out in the street. And then you have to make sure that all is safe. And not only do they look at your house to make sure it's safe, and why would they look at your house? Because if I sent them pictures of my house and then I have like stuff all over the floor that the puppy would just pick up and eat, and I think that would be safe, there would be a problem because puppies would eat anything on the floor, right?
They would.
They absolutely would. So you have to keep all your toys picked up because it gets you on your toys and your shoes that you love so much. Better keep those up too. I mean, they're trained not to. I've never seen her chew on any shoes. She's never chewed on any, but hey, your shoes might be better. So those put up. So they take a look at your house, and then they'll even take a look at your dogs. So I had to take my dogs. I have a golden retriever named Sky at the time, and I have a old bloodhound named Lulu. I had to take them to 4 Paws, and they had to test them. So we were outside behind like a fenced area, and they actually brought out a rambunctious 5-month-old puppy that kept trying to jump on us, and especially jumped on Sky. And guess what? She loved it because she's a golden retriever, and they love things like that. They love to play. But I was really worried about Lulu, the bloodhound, because she does not like puppies. She thinks they're going to pull. That bloodhounds have really long, droopy ears. So she thought the puppy was going to chew on her ears, I think. And so I was a little nervous about Lulu. If she would like snap at the puppy, guess what? We already would have failed, you know? So it was odd because the day I brought Lulu in and cleaned her up, you know, and then I took about an hour to get myself ready. You know what Lulu did? She stood at her garage door and cried for an hour, ready to go. She's never done that before. She's never done that since. And then in the car ride over, she sat like almost in the front seat watching like she was driving. She stood there like that the whole time. And sure enough, the puppy tried to jump on her, but she was good and friendly and she would just back away. She didn't want to play with the puppy, but she wasn't aggressive with the puppy. So they check your house, they check your puppies. And then this is what's so neat and why I think they have one of the reasons they have such a successful program. Everybody that's going to be a cadet has to do online training. Now, I may have been doing therapy dogs forever, but I may have a different way to say sit or down or stay and different hand motions when I do that. But this training will make sure, because I heard your dad has some experience handling dogs, and that's great. Yeah. So I had some different ways than 4 Paws has, but just imagine those prisoners had to do this, and I had to do this. We all have to do the exact same training. So they're all getting the same message. Yeah. And I was fussing at my husband earlier because we were outside and he said, Gemelli, he yelled at her and he wanted her to come to him. He said, Gemelli, come here. Gemelli goes, what? She didn't know what he wanted. And actually it was come. He wanted her to come to him, you know? And so if he had said, Gemelli, come, she would have come right there. So everybody learns the same commands. And that's a really important thing to do. So once you get the training, your house is good, your dogs are good, then you get to pick up your puppy. And they're usually about 8 weeks old. And so everybody does the same training. They'll tell you how much to feed the dog. They'll give you the dog food. They'll give you all the equipment that you need, which could be really expensive, like the crate and all the equipment, like the harness and you don't get a general leader the first year, but they'll make sure you have all of that with you and the vet bills, so that they'll actually give you that while you're the volunteer and you start training your puppy. The main thing they want you to do as a sedate is socialize that puppy. So they don't care so much about the sit, the down, the stay, and you might fail at all that stuff. You just might not be good at it. But they want you to put that puppy on a leash and take it to Walmart, take it to Kroger, put its vest on and do that. The puppy has to get used to wearing a vest. And they want it to be highly socialized. So when you get that dog, you can take that dog anywhere you go, anytime you need to go. You see? Isn't that pretty cool?
Yeah.
What other questions do you have about that? That was a great question.
Let's show real quick for anybody who hasn't already seen it. This is
Oh,
a picture of Gemelli when she was little. How old was she here, Terry?
she was about 8 weeks old when we first got her. I got her on January 27th last year.
8 weeks old, and she's that attentive already. Look at her. She's like,
Oh, yeah.
it's amazing. It reminds me of Anna when she was a baby, because Anna is incredibly advanced and she was so alert, even at just 3, 4, and 5 weeks old. I used to video chat with her at the time.
Wow.
And because she wasn't living with me yet, and I would video chat with her every night. And even at 3, 4, and 5 weeks old, she would stare at the screen and like connect with me at that young of an age. And that's what this picture of Gemelli reminds me of.
Wow, that's incredible. I'm not surprised, but that's really amazing. These puppies go through like a puppy enrichment training when they're like, they're with their mommy at first. And she only went to the prison when she was 8 weeks old, when she was old enough to leave her mommy. And so they do, but you can ask the trainers about the puppy enrichment training, because I didn't have her during that period. But right from the beginning, they start, really trying to get those puppies to touch so many different things like slides and toys and different surfaces, all kinds of things like that. And they teach them sit and then down like this. They have their hand like that down. And so puppies learn that and high five. So they're the first thing. They know those 3 things before they are even 8 weeks old.
Wow.
I like how
Before they're even 8 weeks old.
That's great.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I like how you can train your puppy to high five you.
Yeah, I can tell you a quick story. I can tell you a quick story about everything. But remember, I said I take her. I would take her to therapy classes. Therapy work with me, because I already had places to go, and everybody who would not want to see a puppy, and it was good for Gemelli too. So I took her to some really hard places, hard schools that have a hard time, and I took her into one group of kids, and this boy he just immediately was upset, almost crying, because he said Gemelli would not let me pet her. And I thought, that's odd. How could he say that? So I said, what do you mean? He goes, she pushed my hand away. She wouldn't let me pet her. And I thought that was odd, because Gemelli was being so friendly with everybody, sitting in everybody's lap. And this boy's heart was broken, couldn't leave that like that. So I said, well, show me. So I got Gemelli out and had the boy sit there. And I said, show me. So the little boy, he went like that to pet her. He actually had his hand like this. So he came in like that to pet her. And Gemelli put her paw up. And sure enough, it stopped the boy's hand. And you know what it was? Gemelli was doing a high five. That's the signal for high five. And so Gemelli wasn't stopping him from petting her. She was just doing a high five every time. Of course, he felt better.
That's funny.
I thought it was.
So now Terry keeps Gemelli on the weekends. So she got to have her when she was a baby, and now she sees her on the weekends all grown up. And you had some relevant questions, a couple here, right, Anna, about that?
Yeah. So the first one is, what is a piece of advice about Gemelli that I should know? Like, when you had her, what do you think that I should know about her? The piece of advice.
Honestly, this is something I've been thinking about and worrying about, because you're on screen a lot and you're an actress a lot. And I think people they're going to want to see pictures of you with Gemelli. Okay. And so you see some of the pictures that I've sent you. I've seen the picture of her standing on the stump, the picture between the other 2 dogs. And that takes a lot of patience and a lot of time to line those up. And they may want people, and I'll tell you this, Annalie, a lot of people might want to say, okay, Gemelli, sit or stay or whatever. But her main job will always be looking after you. You should always be her first priority. And so other people shouldn't be allowed to pull her away from you or the focus on you to take a picture of her. And and I'll give you an example of that. I was in a training class one time. And this big dog, and the guy that he was working with it was a grown man in a wheelchair, and he had lots of needs. And they kept trying to pull this impressive dog out, big, massive, trying to pull it out, bring it out here to the middle so we can demonstrate something. That dog would not leave that man's side. And whatever they could tempt that dog with, he would not leave that man's side. You know? And I hope Gemelli does that for you too. Like, you know what? Annalie needs me right now, and I'm not leaving her side. And she should be allowed to stay with you for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I would guard her guarding you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Do you have any tips for me as a new service dog owner?
Oh, I would just enjoy every second, enjoy every single day that you have her. It's just going to be so much fun. And I think what you're going to be seeing with Gemelli is, and here's a great example of that. One of the things they do with the seizure alert dogs, I mean, these kids have actually taken their seizure alert dog home with them or in the hotel with them while they're actually in training, and the dog has alerted to a diabetic problem. You know, that somebody's sugar level went so high that kid would have died through the night, and nobody would have known it. And that dog alerted. And so I think what's going to happen, they're going to teach the dog to go behind you and to stand and brace. And that dog is going to love doing all those things with you. And what you're going to see is you're going to see that dog evolve. So it's been trained this much, and then you're going to see the dog evolve this much. It's going to learn you, and it's going to learn more ways to help. So what you see now in Gemelli is a beginning dog. You're going to see that dog fill in those needs for you. Things you didn't ask her to do, things she was not trained to do. I'd be patient with her. I would do. They try to make everything really fun, and I think that's a great idea. And a lot of times you'll give Gemelli her own kibble as a treat. A lot of people say, "How can that dog not weigh 400 pounds? You're always giving her treats." We actually give her own kibble as a treat, and she likes that. But if you want her to do something really hard, something that she's not, she's never done before, you give her the high value treat. And so you want to give her the high value treats. And so, you can figure out what those are when you're at Four Paws too. I've got some here that I'll probably, give her when I want her to do something different for me.
We do too.
What kind are you using? We picked up some that the trainer gave us a tip on, but what kind are you using?
A lot of people use the pepperoni, but I think with my dogs, it kind of, if it ever gives them a bellyache, and I haven't seen this with Gemelli. Some dogs have sensitive stomachs, not Gemelli. I think she seemed really solid, in the things that she's able to take. But and they don't want you to use people food, So sometimes that you might want to try the pepperoni. They love that. They also like. I'll get them out a little bit. It's called Milo's meatballs, something like that. It's a dog treat.
Okay.
Anything with liver in it, fresh pets, things like that are high value treats for dogs.
They had us buy Charlie Bear.
Oh, I don't know that one. I'm always open to new good treats. I'll have to find
Or
out.
Zooks.
Yeah, as they said, Zooks. We didn't get any of that, but they recommended it.
Yeah, I don't know that one either. So those are good to know. And usually golden retrievers will eat, that golden retriever breed will eat about anything, and labs will too. Yeah. I'll tell you about the way she looks though, since you mentioned that about the breeds. Gemelli, when you see her, she does, like your dad was right. She does look like a flat coat, but not long and lean like they are. But she looks like a golden retriever with that. She looks like a golden retriever, but she's black, and she's got that feathering on her chest and on her ears and on her legs and on her tail. These Four Paws dogs have beautiful coats, really shiny and soft. She'll be cuddly, but she's kind of got like a block head, a little bit more of a blockier head, more like a lab does. And she's got the endurance of the lab too, because they can last longer than the golden retrievers. So, I can't wait for you to meet her.
Yeah. I'm excited to meet her too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions? Kate says, I knew service dogs were amazing, but I'm learning so much that I'm learning they are exceptional, not just amazing. I cannot wait to see how much she helps and protects Anna.
Oh, me too. I mean, I was listening to some of your posts earlier, and somebody asked the question, well, won't she knock her down because she's so much bigger? And it is a concern for a puppy to knock down a smaller child. Things like that happen. But she's a fully trained service dog, and she's young, and she doesn't run in and jump up on people. That's not what she does. She's never had a problem with that. Some dogs do though, but not her.
Her head trainer Emily told me yesterday that she has. So all the trainers, everybody I've talked to has said that Gemelli is one of the smartest dogs they've ever worked with.
Wow.
And she said that very early on, Gemelli showed an amazing cognizance of space and where she is in space, because they're teaching Gemelli the command behind, to get behind Anna, stay around Anna to protect her from falling over. And especially important in like crowd control, when we're walking through a crowd, she needs to know to constantly circle Anna and keep people away from Anna so they don't bump her over. And it sounds like she is well on her way to that, because she's very aware of like being close but not close enough to actually knock her over.
Yeah, that makes sense, because I fall too myself. I've got little feet, and I've had some accidents. But I've noticed when I'm in the kitchen cooking, and you can imagine I've got 3 big old dogs in there all the time, Sky, Angel, and Gemelli. So I'm in the kitchen, this little space. It's actually a big kitchen, but if I'm in this little area cooking, Gemelli's always closer to me, and she's always the first. And she's there, and I don't know she's there. I could step on her easily, but man, she's really alert and skedaddles out of the way. So I haven't stepped on her yet. I'm glad about that.
Yeah.
You want to see if anybody else has questions? Anybody who's watching? We look for some
Sure.
questions. Okay. Do you have another question? While I'll keep an eye on the chat and look for some questions from folks who are watching. Patricia says, "How old is Gemelli?" She is 14 months old.
Yep.
She's a little bit younger actually than I was expecting. I thought we'd get like a 1.5 to 2-year-old dog, but apparently she's so advanced in her training that they felt like she was ready.
I'm telling you, that says a lot. It says a lot about Gemelli, because these are brilliant dogs. I can't wait till you get here and see all the beautiful dogs that are here and how brilliant they are and the things that they learn and the things that they can do. It's just such a beautiful process and journey you're going to be on.
Darcy wants to know if the trainers will be there when we're there for our people training. Absolutely. We're going to be able to meet you, right, Terry?
Oh yeah, we definitely will be there for graduation. And I don't live that far. I live about a half hour away, something like that.
Awesome.
Abby lives farther away. She's in college. She's a college girl.
Hopefully she can make it out as well. We're hoping to meet all 3 of you.
Yo, she'll definitely be there for graduation too. But
Sure.
I was hoping, I thought you might ask. I don't know if they'll do it, or if they can do it, if they have an avenue to do it. But I know one of your concerns is about her traveling in planes. I've seen Gemelli walk through chaos. I think prison gave her that. I've seen her walk through wild beeps and bangs and loud screeches and screams and stuff, and nothing bothers her. She just calmly walks through all of it and takes it all in. But maybe while you're here, I don't know if they have time. I don't know how all that works. Your advanced trainer will. You can ask her this. Here's a question for her, Anna. Can you take us to the airport with her? Walk through the airport. Or maybe they can do it before you get here. See if they'll let her on a plane. She won't have any trouble at all with that. She's in the car. She does a great job. Chews on her bone. She's very happy.
Do you have any other concerns, or concerns that I should really know about that she might do that I don't know about yet, or anything?
I really don't. I don't have any concerns. I was worried about the pictures and people pulling her away from you. She needs to stay with you. I worried about that, but that's really it. And that's nothing a concern about Gemelli. Gemelli, like they said, not only is she really, really smart, but she's really rock solid too. She's a really rock solid dog. And she's like some dogs can be aggressive, and they are sometimes, maybe not sometimes. Not Gemelli. She's been around lots of different dogs, and then she just takes it all in, and she just will step back and think through things. So I don't have.
Do you have concerns? You sound concerned. Do you have concerns you want to ask Terry about?
That's a great question.
No?
No.
Not concerned about anything?
I was just wondering if there was anything that she might do
that you need to be worried about?
Yeah.
I think she's pretty well trained.
Yeah.
Somebody was asking about her personality. Terry, how would you describe Gemelli's personality?
I really would describe it joyous. I mean, you know what? You haven't been around dogs, but you can see the Goldens when they smile, they'll be showing their teeth and their lips curve up back here on the end. Like communication, like 70% of it is nonverbal, right? You can use words, and then you can use your expressions, and your limbs and your body language speaks louder than words. And so Gemelli speaks loudly too. Her tail is up and wagging, and she's got that big smile on her face. She's got that, gleam in her eye. So she's a joyous dog. She's just happy going with the flow, She loves, sometimes we'll bring her to the farm. We turn her loose. We put her in situations she's never been in before. Like when she met all the farm animals, she met all the horses and the donkeys here. That could have been scary, but man, she just slowly approached them and had a silent conversation. And what do I mean by that? Am I making that up? Well, how do you know if a dog is going to be angry? What does it look like? Maybe growl. Maybe the hackles on the back would raise. Tail would be tucked under, ears would be dropped down. Those are all signs of worry, or they're not happy in the situation. And you know what? You're going to learn all those things. I'm sure your dad already knows those things.
Yeah.
You'll be able to watch her, and you'll see her, you'll see what she's thinking. You'll be able to figure it out. When she met all those animals, she was happy.
When exactly did you find out that Anna was her match, that they were...
Same day you did.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people were wondering if you've known all along, or how much sooner the trainers knew. So same day. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I don't see, honestly, I'll just tell you straight up. I don't see how they do it so perfectly every time. It's just like, who is praying for this?
Yeah.
It's like, man, this, when we say it's a match in heaven, I thought it was so interesting watching your reveal last week when a white dog, a male, maybe a lab looking dog, and they were all not right, but yet your dad drew a picture of Gemelli. That was Gemelli in your picture. I thought, it's like, and then your picture when they got married, I saw that picture.
Like right after Gemelli was born too, like 2 weeks after she was born.
You drew a picture of Gemelli. How perfect could that be? It's like your heart knows what your head did not,
Yeah.
And it was like a whisper. And when I say heart, I mean your soul. It's like that's where it was known. So maybe you knew it before anybody did.
Well, and I think to answer your question, you said, who's praying for this? I think the answer is all of us.
Oh, yeah. Then we see the evidence of it. And so, for that reason, Anna Lee, what's the concern? There is none. It's just going to get bigger and better. I mean, and you'll see that. And I'll tell you this too. I made this comment, and it could almost be empty words, but I can prove it. So I said in a message to your mom, I said, I've seen Gemelli look in the face of every kid she's ever met, and she was looking for you, Anna. And because what that means is, she was always good and kind to other kids, and she always showed interest, and she was loving. Always, she's that way. We took her to a Christmas parade when we first got her back. In December. And these little babies will play at her, and babies, you've got to watch those, Anna, because maybe that's the concern. They'll poke their finger in her eye. And you have to watch those guys. It's not a big deal. The dog, Gemelli can handle herself so well. and she's kind and she's forgiving, truly. But I've seen her just see these kids and not love them. You know, she loves them, but I mean, and she's looking for you. And I think when you meet her face to face, man, I want to see that picture. I want to see that video. We'll all see that video.
We will all see that video. We have made sure Four Paws let us know that they give everybody a private room for that moment.
Oh,
and I was talking to my assistant. It's kind of funny because, you know, some people don't understand our life. They're like, how do you do this? How do you share your life live every day with everyone? You put yourself out there. You know, we get a lot of criticism, a lot of hurtful comments, but this is our life. It was kind of designated for us, I think, the way I feel, and we're doing the best we can with it. And so when we found out that we were going to have our own private space so that we could meet Gemelli in private, of course, that means with all of you. So we're going to be live in that moment, that first moment. There probably won't be a lot of talking. It'll probably just be a lot of crying, but everybody will be there with us in the moment when Anna and Gemelli meet in person for the first time.
I cannot wait for that to happen. It's just going to be such a beautiful moment. You know, I'll tell you this, there's always going to be those people who criticize, but this is the way I see you, Anna. Is it Anna Leah or Lee? Anna Lee?
Anna Lee.
I just want to make sure. Because my name is Terry Lee, just so you know. And so I see you guys are, you know, we all go through stuff. We all go through fires. Just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You go through fires and they grow you and make you better. But I see you guys going through a dark tunnel, but shining a light for other people. And that's how I see your videos on your side. You shine a light for other people so they can find a way out into the light too. You know? So you help rescue people. This is a rescue mission right here.
Yeah. I think the big question as we get to wrap up here for the day, I've seen quite a lot of people ask because, you know, they put 2 and 2 together and heard that you have Gemelli on the weekends.
I do. Did you know that?
It's still the weekend.
It is.
So
I think I do have a surprise for you. Are you ready for this? You want to see the surprise?
Yeah.
Give me a second. Oh, by the way, this is one of the toys. Like a chew bone like this, a tug thing like this. These are like her favorite things now, but they will evolve. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
This is one of her treats that I do. Gemelli, we're going to meet somebody. Come on, girl. Look here, Gemelli. You ready? Okay, up. There she is.
Hi,
Gemelli. There she is.
Hi, Gemelli.
This is a new trick for her to jump up on the desk with the computer. Good girl, Gemelli. Good girl. Is she pretty?
Hi.
Hi, Melly.
Yeah.
Hi, Gemelli.
Yeah. Isn't she beautiful? Her beautiful girl. And you know what her favorite thing is? Honestly, I don't remember if Four Paws allows this or not, but we do peanut butter bones. If you want her to be happy somewhere in a whole new environment, come on, Gemelli. Let's show them what we do with this. We put a little bit. Come on, girl, up. There we go.
Oh, Gemelli's a good stuff. Oh, that's good stuff. Nom, nom,
Yeah,
nom.
that's her favorite treat right now.
Oh, look
Peanut
at
butter bone. Look at her face. Didn't she have a good
She's so
face?
beautiful.
She is.
She's
So there she is, Gemelli. Good girl. That's a good girl.
oh my goodness.
What do you think? You gonna you know what? Wait till you get to hug her. That'll be all the difference.
Look at her, Anna. What do you
She's
think?
so cute.
Oh man, look at those ears. You get to pet those ears and
Yeah.
snuggle her face, and give her kisses.
You'll see what I mean by that tail. It's like they don't need 2 wings to fly. You know, honestly, and you'll see that with a lot of the Four Paws dogs. beautiful coats and then those beautiful tails that look like wings. I don't think that's an accident.
Aw, Gemelli.
Good girl. That's a good girl, Gemelli. There she is.
Oh, can't wait. I cannot wait. This is so exciting. 2 years you've been waiting for this moment.
Oh my gosh. You'll get to hug her and she will just love that. And I know she'll just melt in your arms or you'll melt in hers. Probably both. There you go, Gemelli. There you go, good girl.
Gosh,
Yeah,
Terry, thank you so much for doing this with us today. This was really
Yeah.
great.
It was my pleasure. My pleasure that I got to meet you guys finally. All right, good girl. I'll probably teach her to do a high five on the screen. Maybe you can do that for your followers. You know how you can do it. You can put like a peanut butter thing. You know what? They can teach you there at the training. I'm not the trainer. That's a good girl, Gemelli. Okay.
Well, thank you for answering a lot of questions.
It was my pleasure. Like I said, I enjoyed meeting you guys. Come on, girl. Up. There we go. Say bye, Gemelli.
Really cool to hear the story of how you got into this and how it all happens and what our Melly Belly has been doing all this time without us.
Gemelli
That's what
Belly.
Aaron says he's
I
gonna
like
call
that.
Melly Belly.
I love that. That's a good girl. Good girl. All right. You guys take care.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day. Bye, Gemelli. We'll see you soon. Bye, girl.
She's
Bye.
looking. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.